is going on, dudes? How you guys doing? I am TheeRealDuke, and welcome to episode 2 of my Robocraft Let's Play series. Today, I want to bring you guys some incredibly, preposterously massive news about Robocraft. That there are massive, game-changing, completely game-changing meta updates coming in the near future. I mean, totally changing the face of the entire game. I need to tell you guys about these if you don't know about them already. They're incredible. So I'm just gonna get right into it for you guys. The first major change that's coming is that we're gonna be able to respawn in battle. So if you're destroyed normally in battle, you're done and you sit out. Matches will continue until one team wins or loses. Now, victory conditions have also changed, which is another huge adjustment. There's now at each base something called a protonium crystal, and here's what that looks like. Check this out. To win, you have to destroy the opposing team's protonium crystal. It's I guess from the basically from the description that I'm seeing about this, it's there's a mining rod and it's surrounded by these crystals and you have to destroy them. Now, around your base, around each team's base, there's also a fusion shield, and this is what the artwork for that looks like. And the fusion shield is basically quasi one-way force field. So the way it works is it's a little complicated. So first, anybody can pass through it physically and drive through it. Allies, as in other words, if it's your base, you can shoot out of it, but enemies cannot shoot in. So it's kind of one way, but they can get in if they drive through and then shoot whatever's inside. It's kind of that one-way force field. After 15 minutes of gameplay, all the shields drop. They all automatically deactivate if the game isn't completed within 15 minutes. So now the protonium crystals become more exposed and more vulnerable to kind of hasten the end game. The next huge thing that you're going to be able to do is a mechanic that they're calling overclocking. And overclocking, the basic concept, you're basically going to be receiving stat buffs the longer you're in game, performing well and doing a great job. So currently, and these are all still kind of amorphous, they're not really set in stone yet according to the devs, but what they're saying is there's currently 13 levels of overclocking available. And just as an example, I'm seeing here that for SMG damage, for example, at overclocker level 1, you're going to be at 100% of your normal damage, and at level 13 you'll be over 200% damage. So again, that's going to be achieved by doing a number of things, like every time you get kills, any damage that you do, anytime you scout something, anytime you heal, but then also there's still another mechanic that fits into this that's new also. That kind of goes hand in hand with damaging the protonium on an enemy's base, for example, and that's a thing called a fusion tower. So there's going to be 2 fusion towers for each side. They kind of include in the description a little bit how the terminology of them should be. I guess there should be a top tower, bottom tower, a left tower, and a right tower, and there's 2 outside, relatively close, somewhat defensible from each base. You can see they have armor across the top of them, so random shots from afar aren't going to be too useful. You can actually capture them, and they will add cycles to this overclocking stat, and that's going to that much hasten your ability to get those stat buffs. So those are going to be, that's a whole new point on the map to capture and a whole new point on the map to defend, with massive bonuses and potential there. But honestly, and this is the last major change in these coming updates. Actually, a series of 3 updates, and that's supercomputers. And here are the first 3 supercomputers, and that's also another point that's worth noting in the description that I'm seeing about supercomputers. These are labeled as the first 3. That implies to me that they're the first 3 of many hopefully to come, and they're really cool. So essentially, they're these new pilots, and these are the guys that are going to be riding in, and they each have their own series of special powers. You can see Tianhe, I have no idea how to pronounce that, but is more towards defense. Jean is a medic, and Cray is more geared towards offense. And just some examples of some of these advanced programs. Tianhe is a support robot. He creates a kind of force field over an ally that protects them for a while. Cray, the offensive one, he's offensive. He's more focused on skills and abilities that aid in dealing damage and assassinating enemies. And Jean, whose skills are more towards a medic bent, he has this ability where he can, for example, regenerate 50% of a target ally of a target ally's health in 3 seconds. So it's like an instant 50% of your health restored in just 3 seconds, which he can also cast on himself. So these are they completely change how we're going to be approaching building robots, the tactics we're going to be using to deploy those bots, how we're going to be working and functioning as teams. I mean, I can see tanks that can heal themselves. I mean, I can see super healers that can have offensive capabilities. It's just, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible. There are it's worth mentioning also that the supercomputers and their special abilities are going to have their own little spot widget on the main screen for you to see. It's going to be down the bottom left corner as it stands right now. Another great improvement that we're going to see, but isn't quite what we would call game-changing, is new stats added to the victory screen. These are going to be good, so we'll actually be able to make better comparisons about teammates and ourselves for our own performance, how we're doing as a team, etc. That's going to be nice to see. As I said before, this is going to roll out in 3 launches. The dudes at Free Jam outline the launches in this fashion. Launch 1, basically, which is the closest one, maybe in about a month. It's going to be titled Robocraft, Respawn, and Overclocked, and it's going to include the respawning mechanic, the Protonium Crystal, Fusion Shield, the Overclocker, and the new battle screen, new battle comparison screen. The second part of the launch will follow fairly quickly and include the new Fusion Tower mechanics that we were talking about, new team communication pings, and cool voiceovers, self-described cool voiceovers. We'll see how cool they are when they come out. I'm sure they're going to be awesome, though. And then the final part will be the release. Part number 3 will be the release of the supercomputers Cray, Tianhe, and Jean, and all of their new advanced programs that we'll be able to check out. So that should be cool. So what they're talking about with this now, there are still a few more things that are really worth mentioning. Number 1, this is going to be the only way to play the game. There will be no more challenge matches. There will be no more kind of boss battles or that kind of thing anymore. That's gone, and they're reasoning it as it being something that the game is going to be so rich and entertaining with this new meta implemented that they're just not going to be compatible with each other. So those are gone, which can kind of be a bummer, but honestly, I've never been able to get into a challenge mode match in a platoon anyway, so it's not like it's something I'm going to miss. We are going to be able to form clans. There will be clan battles. There's going to be robo leagues. There's going to be tournaments. There's going to be ranked battles that are worth something. Finally, level 50 plus players only. Players will earn ELO points in this version of the game. They're going to get rid of the ranked battle timer. It'll be a new mode which you can choose to play in, so that's going to be awesome. The new practice mode is going to be cool too, because there's two different new modes where we will actually get to play with each other on servers. There's going to be a friendly and unfriendly version, where the unfriendly version you can shoot at people and do damage. The friendly version, which will be good, so you can test out your bots before you take them into battles or into ranked battles. And there's going to be a friendly version, and Free Jam is intending this to be where people that make awesome looking art bots will hang out. So that's going to be cool to see. I'd like to go through there and see what kind of ridiculous things people can come up with there. They're estimating that battles will last between 20 and 30 minutes each. Because the battles are going to be longer and we'll be able to do a fewer number of battles in a given number of time, the amount of RP and TP that we're going to be earning during those times is increased. We'll be able to actually rejoin a match if you're disconnected. If the match is still going on, you'll get dropped back in, but that's going to take, I guess, time for them to implement, they're saying. So don't expect that to come out immediately. They're actually also going to be doing an AMA on Reddit, and so that's going to be cool. I'm sure going to be so many more details about that. As soon as I see an update about that, I will let you guys know. Tons and tons of game-changing updates and possibilities coming. I'm speechless about it. This is going to completely change the face of the game. I don't actually honestly know how I feel about it yet. I'm going to have to see what the implementation is like. I do really think it's going to be incredible to see all these new types of strategies emerging. But I don't know what kind of game it's going to turn Robocraft into. Right now, Robocraft is a fun game that's not boring. I get into battles. If the battles are crappy, if my team vanishes or is terrible, or if there's a bunch of dudes that they just don't care and they're just doing whatever, or they're just goofing around or trolling or whatever it is, or they're AFK, they're vanished for some reason, and I go down in flames, you know, it's not a big deal because I can jump right in. What they're saying with this new playstyle is, with this new metagame that they're introducing, is that it's going to eliminate that, and it's going to prove and force that the best team with the best players will always win. And if that's the case, then I'm feeling good about this, because there's no better way to die than to be beaten by someone who is truly better than you. I truly believe that. Anyway, that is it for this update. I really want to know what you guys think about this. Is this going to be just completely detrimental and destroy Robocraft, or is this going to be awesome, like I hope, cautiously optimistically, that it is, but I'm still unsure about? I hope it is. I'm gonna be there playing it either way, and so I'm gonna find out. Let me know what you guys think. That is it for this episode. I will catch you guys next time. Thank you dudes so much for taking a second to check this out. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. TheeRealDuke, and I'm out.